might, if we have time, might talk NHL playoffs. But let's go back to the lottery, Greg. The draft lottery just happened. I have on the board right now the top 14 picks. Shout out to the Orlando Magic getting the number 1 selection. I texted you saying Chet is a Magic. You texted back that you don't believe he's going number 1.
Because I think that this is one of those years where it's very easy to say the top 3 guys. You know, it's Smith, it's Holmgren, and it's Banchero. But I think it's trying to figure out which guy fits in the specific situation. Because the way I look at
Chet's
Magic right now,
300 pounds, just for the record. But keep going.
One sec on that one. But but when I look at the Magic, I see Jalen Suggs, I see Franz Wagner, I see
I'm gonna pull their
Jonathan
roster up.
Isaac,
Cole Anthony.
Cole Anthony, yep. So they have
Markelle Fultz is still there, right? Do they still got Mo Bamba?
They do have no. He's a restricted free agent.
Gotcha. Well, I did dance to Mo Bamba for the first time in a long time this past weekend.
Yeah, but they do have Mo Bamba if they want to keep him. So I like their backcourt already. So I look at what they have, and I feel like Smith fits better to a degree.
With the motherfucking blow. Okay, yeah, no, so I don't hate that. I mean, personally, going into the season, I didn't like Chet because, and it's not a knock on him or anything like that. I didn't like that he went to Gonzaga. I hate Gonzaga.
In fairness, the first time you watched him was also when we were at the lab, and you were. Well,
the first time I watched him in college, because that was the first game of the year.
That's true.
I've seen his high school highlights, but that was game 1, Gonzaga versus Duke, and that was Banchero, Paulo.
Banchero versus Holmgren. And I was the one that told you about Holmgren, and then I think it was like end of the second half, and you looked at me, it was like, this dude's the best player in the country?
So, like, I had seen him on, like, Instagram, and I knew that he was a high recruit, but I'm like, he's fucking slender, man. And don't get me wrong, dude, with the right nutritionist coaching, and his skills are undeniable. He's undeniably an amazing talent.
Mm-hmm.
I just can't see a realistic time that this man does not get absolutely destroyed by almost every player in the NBA right now.
Yeah, here's the problem that I have with him is that there's nothing wrong with being tall and lanky in the NBA. Because when I look at him body-wise, he reminds me of like a combo of Kevin Durant and like Dirk. You know? Like tall, lanky, can also move the ball real well. But the problem is that
Mom,
he's
just
not
for
the
record,
shooter.
I didn't make – my mom said – she said fancy graphic. I didn't make the back one. I stole that, but I did cut out all the players. I organized the screen. I made all the guys in the bottom. I cut their backgrounds out. Didn't make the graphic, but this is, Greg. Honestly, this might be how I do the screen from now on. We're on this side. It's not our big chunky faces. I feel like I look better as a human. We might just do this screen for the end of time because then I can just TikTok you know what I mean. Shout out to my mom. Love you, Mom. Parents are coming down next weekend, Greg.
Nice. Perfectly in time for lovely Memorial Day weekend. Can't go wrong with that.
Thank you, Mom. Keep going.
Yeah, but I look at Chet Holmgren, like he can't shoot like those guys. So that's the only issue with his game. And I can argue that might be something that he develops as he gets older or something like that if he goes to the right team, which is kind of why I hope he goes to Oklahoma City, because I think –
Is that where you want him to go?
That's where I want him to go. If he plays with Josh Giddey and Shai Alexander and stuff like that, I think that's the perfect spot for him.
I really want him to be a Rocket. I think him and Green would be really, really promising trio. Or duo, Lord in heaven.
Duo.
I just and it's honestly it's a predecessor of like the taller power forward not ever really being at the. Hear me out, dude. It's strictly because Chris Bosh was supposed to go to the Rockets and didn't go.
That's true.
That's like what it's built about. But I picked Auburn to win March Madness because of Smith. I think that Smith, right now, currently, I like Banchero. I think that he's tremendous. The sweat issue thing is a wild concept to me. Mom, basically, this guy loses 7 pounds a game. The guy on the far right that I made that graphic. He loses 7 pounds a game from sweating. So Gatorade, I think it was Gatorade, developed a liquid that, so normally humans have to consume the water, and then it goes in your bloodstream. The Gatorade they made him so high energy that the second it hits, your skin starts to absorb it. So the second he squeezes in his mouth, his cheeks and everything, it instantly goes into the bloodstream to try to help that issue. One of the coolest things I ever heard, by the way. But he loses, on record, 7 pounds a game due to sweat. That can be solved by an NBA team. I just like Smith, I think, the most, Greg. I'm going to be straight up.
No, I think Smith, so like Smith is kind of like, so you know how 3-and-D guys are kind of like that new fancy phrase that you think of now?
Yeah.
They're the sexy cars. He is like the most high-end 3-and-D guy I think we've ever seen. From that point where like he played defense so well at Auburn, but he can shoot extremely well.
Yep.
And that's something that I think is what a lot of NBA teams are looking for in today's game now.
Oh, agreed.
Yeah,
Very
and I think that's something that fits really well with the Magic because of the fact that they already got their backcourt set up to that degree. They have a lot of young pieces right there. So if they put him on that team, I think that works out very well. Especially would be interested if they re-sign Mo Bamba to see how that goes because they have a young and exciting team. Which, by the way, I'm gonna bring this up real quick. So the NBA draft combine is going on right now. Chet Holmgren was being interviewed for it, and someone, I think the reporter asked him, "What is something that you want people to know about you that they probably don't know?" His response was, "I want people to know that I actually do lift weights and I do eat food."
I mean, I'll tell you right now, I don't believe him.
Exactly. That's my point. No one believes that he does, but apparently he claims that he wants people to know he does it. He just can't do it, apparently.
So there are certain, I mean, my brother, like Nico's the same way, where no matter what he
Nico's
eats,
a stick, yeah.
But he's like, he's a muscular body type. Like he's, I don't know if he's ever seen a gym. I don't know. He eats like a crazy person, steaks and all the time, but also Tostino pizza rolls, which I love, don't get me wrong, and drinks all the time. And Nico has the body of someone that is just genetically gifted, but also he's always on his feet working. He's running up and down staircases at work. Like he lives an active life in terms of moving and stuff like that, but is genetically always just going to be skinny. I never understood guys like Chet. I'm like, dude, just eat or do something. But then at the same time, I'm like, oh, like blah, 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 blah. Bodies freak me out, Greg. Bodies, you skinny you bodies in a hole, all of them. Freak. Banchero losing seven pounds a game freaks me out.
Yeah, no, the 7 pounds a game thing is terrifying. I don't understand how that is possible. I don't know how your body contained that much water to be able to lose it like that, but yes, that is fair.
That's probably why I cramped up so much.
Yeah, bodies are a strange thing that we currently have to deal with all the time, and that is something that I think is a life lesson. Yeah, I think it's a life lesson that we all have to accept, that bodies are weird.
Interesting. So there was a big mock draft on NBA.com, okay? It was the first look mock, so they had a ton of people do it. There's a number of picks for each one. I'm going to go through the top 14 here, tell you who's where, and give you the number of picks for that person, okay?
Okay.
7 people, Greg, selected Jabari Smith to go number 1 to the Magic.
Okay.
7 people picked Chet Holmgren to go number 2 to the Thunder.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming 9 is the largest number I see. Okay, so there were 12 mocks in total. Okay. 9 people took Banchero to the Rockets.
Okay.
Banchero in green would be scary.
See, that to me, I feel like that's how the 3 should go. I just feel like based on how they fit, not even in terms of like who I think is the best player. I just think based on how the team fits that just works out really well. Especially Banchero is a guy that can shoot. Like Green is not a shooter necessarily, but he is a dunker. And there ain't nothing wrong with that. It's just guys that can play off of each other so well. So, yeah.
Number 4, all of these guys have been the only player to get a majority of votes. Jaden Ivey going to the Kings at 4. The Pistons at 5 split 5 votes apiece between Jaden Ivey and Shaedon Sharpe.
So do you know about Shaedon Sharpe?
No.
Okay. So Shaedon Sharpe was guy. Yeah, he he was supposed to go to Kentucky next year, but reclassified out of high school and technically was able to enter his name into the draft this year because of it.
What? What does reclassified mean?
So like he got his GED early, so he graduated high school.
I'm lost. Okay. Hold on. What about the why is that I'm confused.
Yeah, it's just a
I don't know how
it's
to
a
word
goofy
my
scenario.
confusion, man.
It's just a goofy scenario. And here's the thing too, like you know how Cal is. So like if Cal finds out that a guy is eligible for the draft and all that, like he's gonna tell him to go.
Yeah, it's a good point. I love Coach
Cal. That's his mindset with it. So like Cal apparently told him that it's okay for him to go, so he's in the draft right now. So he's kind of a mystery man to a degree, but he's also extremely talented as well. So like he could be a surprise guy as the draft gets closer for all we know.
Interesting. Yeah, everything that I'm reading loves them. Number 6, the Pacers. Keegan Murray has 8 votes.
Yeah, that feels like a Pacer pick.
And then we're getting into a bunch of names for every pick, so I won't go crazy. But Jalen Duran in there a ton, AJ Griffin in there a ton, Benedict Mathurin in there a ton.
Yeah. By the way, I saw a mock on Bleacher and I saw AJ Griffin going to the Trailblazers, and then I kind of thought to myself, like, how angry did Dame look being at the lottery, like for the Trailblazers and stuff like that? His facial reaction when the Trailblazers didn't get one of the top picks was hilarious.
Oh, dude, it's so upsetting.
First off, I felt like he didn't want to be there to begin with.
No.
Obviously. But then finding out that his team didn't even get like a top pick probably pissed him off too. So like I can't imagine how that whole situation went for him.
Felt a little forced.